It's getting started now. Bring that mic in, baby. Let's do it. Let's go live. All right, everybody, shout out where you're from. Shout out where you're from. You know how we start off every day. We start off with where you're from because I have to know where my people are. I know people are all over the world, so let's go ahead and put that energy out there. Say good afternoon. Good afternoon to you too. How are you doing? Texas. Let's go Texas. Columbia, Ohio. Okay, Ohio. What's going on in Ohio? Let's go TikTok. How y'all doing on TikTok? Good afternoon, Cindy. We got Texas. Cindy, did you get the text? For those of you who have filled out the form for the free webinar, you should have gotten a text or an email by now. So you should have. United Kingdom. We got the UK in the house. UK, Alabama. Let's go. UK, but from Ireland. She's like, I gotta make sure that you know I'm from Ireland, right? I'm in the UK, but make sure you know I'm an Ireland woman, okay? You got a text? Good. I'm glad. I'm glad. See, I told y'all. You got the text. Yes, I told y'all. You will be receiving the text. So good. You are in the system. So we're gonna make sure that you are going to be in Sunday. So congrats if you got the text. We still got a few more spots. So make sure you go ahead and fill out the form with the link in the bio if you haven't already. Make sure you go ahead and do that. Let's see. How young should a woman date a man? I mean, are we talking about adult? I mean, legally, you can start at 18, right? I mean, but what I would say is whatever age is she's ready, like after 18. Like, I think honestly, serious dating shouldn't start until the legal age. That's just me personally. I don't see much. Now, don't get me wrong. I know people meet in like middle school and high school. If you're high school sweethearts, that's cute. But I'm like, what much can you do, right? You can't do much with that. But as long as you guys are at the same age or a reasonable age range, then yeah. That's a tricky question. I don't even know like how to answer that. Something against Oklahoma passed over it twice. I didn't see it twice. So shout out to Oklahoma. All right, we're gonna start answering questions, dating questions, because we're gonna talk about how we get into these situations, right? Because some of these guys out here are trying to get you in situations you don't need to be in. All right, let's see. How to recognize healed masculine energy. Looks like there's not many who did self-work. So here's what I could say. A lot of people are not 100% healed across the board, right? So if you're looking for a healed person, there's not too many people that are walking around that are just 100% healed. In fact, I would say that we're all going through some form of healing, big or small, right? So I would say you can recognize someone who's healthy minded, because even though we're constantly in a cycle of breaking and healing, we can still be healthy minded, right? So how do you recognize healthy masculine energy? Healthy masculine. Now, the term masculine is kind of funny because when you think of it, you think of clearly a man. You think of a protector, a leader, a provider, someone you feel safe with, someone that's going to make you feel taken care of, right? someone who has their stuff together, who's got you covered, that you don't feel like you have to think much. How do you recognize if it's healthy? Well, if you feel like you can get the benefits of that energy without having to second guess it. That's one way to recognize it. That energy doesn't come with a gotcha. It doesn't come with lies. It doesn't come with mischief or, a double back. It's going to be consistent in that nature. And you're not going to have to feel like, oh, well, this person said they were going to do something and they never did it, right? You're not going to feel like it's a trick. It's going to be real. It's going to be authentic. Actually, healthy masculine energy reflects a lot of the energy that the toxic guys try to put out, but they end up failing to deliver on, right? Because a lot of toxic guys like to appear like healthy masculine energy. They give you everything. They love bomb you. They tell you they're gonna do whatever it takes. They're all in, right? And then out of nowhere, they switch up on you. The narcissists, the manipulators, they try to emulate that energy, and then they switch up. A healthy masculine, they have similar energy to that. It may not be as on it as the toxic guys. They don't love bomb. Sometimes they might take their time. Sometimes they'll pace themselves. They'll try to get to know you. It's not all about just being good for you all at once. Sometimes it's more about, hey, let's just get to know each other. And then as we get to know each other, I will start to show you that naturally those leadership skills. It's not going to be forced. It's not going to be something I have to announce every single day. It'll be something that will come naturally. So hopefully that helps. How to dress on a first date? That's a good question. Well, see, here's the thing for me is that I don't always believe that the first hangout should be an official date. Right? Because if it's an official date, then it's going to put a little bit too much pressure, right? Like pressure to show up as something. I think that the first hangout is the get to know stage, right? When we're just getting to know each other, we don't know anything. So for us to put on our best is actually might be working against us. And I might be a little bit unconventional in this way. Now, don't get me wrong. I love a fancy date. I love to dress up and go out. But what I would say is a lot of our first hangouts should be real. Show me how you look throughout the week. I'll show you how I look throughout the week. You can put on a little bit, but don't do too much because I'm not signing up for the best version of you. I'm signing up for the reality of you. The best version of you is the one that comes around when ducks are in a row, right? We're not always at our best at a 10 every day. I know that that's there, but I want to get to know the reality of you. So what I would say is I wouldn't concern so much with dressing perfectly as much as I would just looking together, right? Just look together. What would you wear out with your girlfriends on a Sunday brunch? Right? What would you wear if you were going out to get ice cream at the park? Like, think more in those terms, at least for the beginning. And as you move forward, you can say, okay, we've hung out. We had some simple hangouts. Now let's go ahead and have an official date, right? After you've gotten to know each other on a real level, do you know how much more fun a date is going to be when you actually took the time to get to know each other on a real level? Now it's like you're with your best friend. What are 5 qualities of a bad relationship? Number 1 is selfishness, extreme selfishness, unmitigated selfishness. If you both are self-serving, then that's a bad relationship waiting to happen because a relationship requires to be selfless. Number 2, you don't make space for reality. And what I mean by that is you're so busy trying to make the person into what you want, and you're taking the few bits that you learned of them and you're trying to fill it in with what you think is good instead of just learning the reality and accepting who the person is for who they are. That's number 2. Number 3, you don't respect each other. Lack of respect in a relationship is a terrible thing. That's going to fail. If you don't look at each other as some type of authority in certain areas, right? And I don't mean like, oh my God, you're above me. I mean like if a person makes if they try to give you constructive criticism or they try to give you information that you may not have had, and your first instinct is to dismiss them or get mad at them, then that's probably a bad relationship waiting to happen. That's not a good relationship. Is that number 3? Number 4 is lack of compromise. If you're not willing to compromise, and I don't mean lose yourself, but I do mean replace certain things that you had when you were single and fill it in with things that you would have as a unit, because you are no longer an individual single person. You are now moving as a unit. If you're not willing to change some things in your life to accommodate you both, then that's not going to work. And number 5 is, I don't know number 5. You got 4. You got 4. Expectations, you can't get to know them. Hey, Brooke, how you doing, Brooke? Miss Gigi, how you doing? My husband had an affair and said that no one loved him like that. And he blames the whole affair on me. Well, he sounds like great ex-husband material. That sounds like a ball of chaos right there. So not only did he not take accountability, but he also made an excuse for it and then blamed you. Like, that's not a husband. That's a liability. That man is going to get you caught up. That's insane. Like, any guy that blames you for cheating, that's not a man. And there's so many guys out here that do that, right? There's so many guys out here that do that. How do I punish a man? What a question. How do you punish a man? I have to think about this one. So the thing is, you shouldn't have to punish someone in a healthy relationship, right? So if you feel like you have to punish someone, then that already means you have to act outside of your authenticity. So what I would say is, instead of saying, how do I punish a man? What you need to do is you need to talk through actions, right? Because when we try to tell someone, you made me upset, right? You made me upset. This doesn't work for me. You need to take accountability. Let's say something like that. Sometimes that doesn't work, right? Sometimes no matter how much you do that, it doesn't work. So what you'll have to do is show them through actions, I'm not happy, which means you don't participate in certain things, right? You're not as likely to be involved in certain aspects. Certain actions are not going to be made as available. Your availability and your vulnerability now take a scale back. So, but you're not going to do it in the act of punishment, because if you start, let's say it works, right? Let's say it works. If the punishment works, then that means that's something you're going to have to always artificially do. And then when that stops working, you're going to have to find something else, which means that this relationship is not built off of authenticity. What's not built off authenticity will eventually fail. Hopefully that helps. Yeah, you shouldn't have to punish someone. It's not going to work. Love the screensaver. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I just chose it on random. Personally, I hate getting fellatio. You should relentlessly punish me with that. Relentlessly is a crazy word. Do you ever hear of successful IG relationships when from 2 different countries, or are they all fake? From different countries? Yeah. There are a lot of Instagram relationships that are successful from different countries, right? But here's what I would say. I've only seen that work when someone had money. I mean, if I'm going to be honest with you, I felt like it works. If one person has a lot of resources, you can make it work. If you're both struggling, that might be a no-go. But yeah, that works, because sometimes people will fly over to the US and be with this person here, or sometimes they'll fly over there. Like, I know there are guys that go to the Philippines or they go to Thailand and they meet women, and there's some women that fly over here from there, or women from Colombia. I've met those women. Yeah, I've met those women and those men, right? Like, I've seen that work. So yeah, it does work. People do different country relationships all the time, but like I said, someone has to have the resources or the space to make this easy. He said, "Them passport boy." I knew about that before it became like a movement, but the passport, what I don't like about some of the passport bros is that they're using it just to like get fun. And I understand that, but I think, there was a more wholesome aspect to it where it was like, oh, we want to find, we want to fly to a different country and meet someone, like see what's out there. But now it's like, oh, we just throw money around and party and we end up in the news. I'm like, yo, them passport boys, some of them are ending up on the front page of the news. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Interesting. Thank you. Yeah, sure thing. I was seeing a guy for 3 months. It was my birthday, and I was expecting a card or something, but I didn't get anything. Why did you expect a card? I told him it has affected my feelings. Then he made it about his feeling. I'm done. Well, here's the thing. It's going to sound crazy, but why did you expect anything that you weren't told? I'm not saying that you're not wrong for thinking, well, man, it's my birthday. What I wish you would have done. But you said you were just seeing a guy. So I'm going to take that as he wasn't your boyfriend. Or was he your boyfriend? Were y'all even exclusive? Because that's what I think. Having expectations for someone that's never told you that they were going to do that for you, that's not fair all the time. That's not fair. I've seen you in a couple videos on Facebook Reels. Yeah, my Facebook is blowing up, huh? Are you a relationship couples therapist? I'm a coach. I don't go the therapy route because I don't do that. But I do the coach route, which is very similar, but I get to do it a little differently. But yes, I've worked with a lot of relationships, a lot of couples. I've worked with celebrity relationships. You can see it on my Instagram page. I helped Redfoo and his girlfriend. So yes, I've helped marriages stay in place, and there are marriages that were on the rocks. I've helped women leave toxic marriages. So yeah, all the above. She said one of the best. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Should I leave or stay with the girl I'm with for a year? I lost my virginity to her. That's such a broad question. Why would you want to leave? Why are you even questioning this? Like, I need some details. I love when I get that question. Should I leave or stay? I don't know. Like, what is it? You got some details? Thank you for the likes, y'all. I appreciate it. We're going to roll today. By the way, for those of you that are new, or for those of you that have been here and haven't done it yet, I'm hosting a free webinar on Sunday. I will be sending out text messages again today where you're going to get the Take Your Power Back webinar. It's going to be big. You're going to get some bonuses and some stuff to take away. Let's make sure we do that. She is an alcoholic and lost 3 jobs this year. I'm the only one working. I'm very sorry to hear that. I would say I've worked with many couples where one of them was an alcoholic, and I can say that is something, significant. So I would say if you can't find a way, supporting her paying for everything and she is still not happy, she complains and swears at me. Well, I can tell that this is probably a situation that we would need to talk about more. But at face value, if you're dealing with someone that's struggling with addiction, don't feel like you have to stay. I said what I said. Don't feel like you have to stay. Because sometimes people who struggle with addiction can tend to be unreasonable and illogical because they have a substance in their life that might be altering their brain chemistry. It might be altering their decision making and their perspective. And also, they prioritize that. So I would say, do your best to make sure that they're taken care of in some type of way. But don't feel like you have to or you're obligated to stay with someone that struggles with addiction, because that is not your responsibility. That is their responsibility. And it is what it is. They need lots of healing, get closer to God. Yeah, it's on them, and you do the best you could do. Addiction is hard. And I say that with a lot of compassion, right? Some of us are a little bit more prone to addictive, personality traits than others, right? Some of us have a little bit more of an addictive trait. So for some of us, having a drink is not like, and I've had family members in my own family that struggled with alcoholic addiction and stuff like that. So it's hard, right? It's hard. It's tough because especially once you're in it, people who don't struggle with it won't understand. So like I say this with the utmost compassion, right? But I would also say, understand, for people who are struggling with addiction, try as hard as you can, right, to understand how that affects people around you that care about you. There are people that want you to be happy, to be healthy, and to be successful. And when they see you go down like this and they give their hearts to you, it hurts. And I'm not saying that, you don't have a right to do what you want, but just understand that, right? It gets hard for people like that. So it's not just you. It's other people who need you and who want you around. So people count on you, believe it or not. And I think sometimes when we're in these situations, we don't realize, right, that people do love us and people do count on us. We have an impact on people and we don't realize it. You could say words to a person that might change their life forever. So you do carry value. Like, for example, I used to be one of the toxic guys that I talk about, right? Now, I didn't do all those things. I didn't cheat or get physically abusive, but I had some bad moments. I was very manipulative. So I had to break out of that and go to therapy and challenge myself. And now I'm able to impact many others, right? So you'd be surprised. Anyway, more dating questions. I try to change her. I love her. I gave her myself and she uses it against me. Yeah, you can't change people. You can't change people. We really need to destroy the narrative that we can change people. We can influence people, right? We can influence, and most of the time, we can only influence people through our own good behavior, right? That's the best we can do. We can influence, we can show, we can give that image of excellence. But for the most part, if someone doesn't want to see the value in making changes, then you're going to be wasting your time. We really need to destroy the narrative. We need to obliterate the narrative that you can change someone. Stop. We need to stop with that. That is hurting a lot of people. It's like one of the most unhealthiest things I think I hear in the dating community. How can I help my insecurity to not hurt my relationship? You might need help, right? You might need help. Because one thing you have to know is you have to discover where your insecurity comes from. And then you're going to have to make it a conscious effort to undo whatever those insecurities are, right? So you might need help, which I offer. But like I said, you should go to my webinar. Everybody that's new, click on the link in my bio and go to my webinar. Click on the webinar, fill out the form, and I will send you out a message tonight. I will be saying that multiple times throughout the live, so just to let you know if I annoy you. Because we're getting closer, right? It's Tuesday. We're almost there. Thanks for the wisdom, man. Absolutely. You can't change nobody. And you shouldn't have to, right? That shouldn't be your job. That's not for you. That's between them and the creator, right? That's not for you. We're just humans. I am a mere mortal. I am not put on this earth to change anyone. I'm here to do the best I can do and support you in your journey, right? But your journey is your own. Leaving a narcissist, your videos really helped me currently moving out. Yes, I'm so glad to hear that. A clap. I'm so glad that you are leaving a narcissistic situation because I want your happiness. I love to see people get in healthier situations, especially leaving unhealthy situations, right? Because that's what women had to do with me. When I used to be extremely toxic, women had to find the will to leave me, no matter how hard I fought. And I am so proud of them for doing that because if they didn't, not only would they still be with me in my craziness at the time, but also I wouldn't have found a need to change. Sometimes leaving someone is the best way to get them to possibly change. I hate to say it. Sometimes that's the best medicine. When you focus on controlling yourself, life gets better and on your terms because you put that first step forward versus expecting the other two. Exactly. Exactly. Appreciate you seriously. Thank you. I appreciate you too. You're awesome. And thank you for the like on the live. I appreciate it. I am a year out of a narc relationship. Is it too soon for me to date? No. A year is a pretty long time. But what I would ask at this point is, have you worked through why you got into it in the first place? Have you worked through why you found yourself in it? Right? And why you couldn't leave? Have you worked through figuring out those individual patterns? Because if you didn't, then that might revisit you in the future if you haven't figured that out. Healing is one thing, but learning how to not repeat the same mistakes is another thing. How narcissists become narcissistic? Well, diagnosed narcissists usually happen at childhood. It usually happens between the ages of about 2 to 5 or 6, where they're not given the ability to cope, right? They can't cope with bad. So what happens is, instead of learning how to properly cope with bad situations or bad behaviors or bad news, if they don't learn that from a young age, then yeah, it's going to be harder for them as they get older. And that window of time is short. Once you get past that window, there's almost no undoing it. They're going to have to go through cognitive behavioral therapy probably for the rest of their life. You know, it's always going to be something that they're going to have to work through. 23 single from New York. Thank you. Thank you for telling me. What part of New York? I took sex away and the monster came out, but he also realized my next step was leaving with the babies, and he started fixing himself because he really was very ready to lose his family. Yeah. Clarify narcissist, please. Someone with an overinflated ego. It's unrealistic. Someone who views themselves as better than everyone and does not like to at all take accountability or see themselves in a negative light. They don't think they need constructive criticism. They don't think they need to be told that they're wrong. And are you an expert? Well, I don't label myself with those titles. I allow other people to give me that title. So if other people think so, then they'll tell you. I do know that as a relationship coach and as someone who's worked with over 1,500 people with a 99% success rate, I'm probably one of the best. Emotions, thoughts, behaviors are all connected to most people. Yeah, no. So that's the thing about narcissists is that they, from a young age, that's how they're actually developed with a personality disorder. Now, the word narcissist has become a widespread word used for a lot of people in a lot of different situations. Now, do I believe that there are that many narcissists that are diagnosed? Probably not. I think that sometimes the behaviors can come from manipulative people because they suffer with other things, right? So, for example, insecurity, lack of accountability, conflict resolution skills, a lot of these things can sometimes be looked at as a narcissistic person. But what I like to label them as is narcissistic characteristics. What makes a guy go from I don't want, not ready for a relationship to he does? What makes a guy go from he doesn't want a relationship to he does? Every guy's different, right? Every guy's different. There's not a universal good. I think he just knows when he sees it. I can tell you this. A guy doesn't need much convincing because guys normally seek out what they need in a person, right? When they're vetting you out, they're looking at what you do and what you say and how you respond. So if they go a long period of time without getting into a relationship with you, then I would say that they've already seen what they needed to see and they're not choosing you and you're wasting your time. Because guys know from the get-go if they're even considering you for a relationship. From the get-go. What do you think about the Diddy situation? Horrible. I think the Diddy situation is horrible. Not only reflective on Diddy, but it's reflective on the people that surrounded him that knew about this. It goes to show you how much stuff is going to be kept under wraps. And I don't like that. You know, and I don't just look at Diddy. I'm looking at who else was around him that enabled this behavior or that accepted it, right? A lot of people didn't speak out. So it's a bad situation. I think that the apology was insincere. I thought it was disingenuous. I think it was poorly timed. Honestly, he probably should have just not even apologized. Like, he should have just gone with it because he knew all of this time that happened, and he only apologized because the footage came out. That's not what we're doing. Do you think narcissists have obsession of any spirit? What does that mean? Obsession of any spirit? See, I don't know what that means. You might have to reword that for me. One thing I have learned from your amazing videos, thank you so much, is that the biggest empowering thing I could have ever done is revisit my boundaries. It is the most powerful habit you could relearn. Thank you. That was a profound statement. Thank you so much. I'm going to take a picture of that one. Thank you so much. Yes, your boundaries are really important because that's how you teach someone how to love you correctly. If you don't have boundaries, then someone's not going to know how to love you. See, all the time, I see boundaries be used as something to keep people out. Like, oh, you can't do this. No. No, it's to keep the right people in, right? Like, I want to be loved correctly. If I'm a fitness person and I get up every morning at 5 a.m., I can't talk past 9 p.m., right? I can't talk on the phone past 9 p.m. It's not because I'm trying to stop you from talking to me, but I'm teaching you how to love me correctly. I'm telling you that, hey, I need to wake up early, right? But I want to keep you as a priority. I just want you within bounds of my mission and my vision, right? It's protection. Yep, exactly. But it also gives a person the right way to love you. Like, it gives a person the right ways to love you. Because here's the thing. One of the most romantic things that I think couples can do for each other is not only learn each other's boundaries, but protect each other's boundaries, right? Like, if my girlfriend says, oh, I got to wake up in the morning early, but, some people are just getting on my nerves. Work is getting on my nerves tonight. I would do the best I can I would do the best I can to create a safe space for her where she can feel like she should prioritize getting her rest. And I will take care of whatever she needs. If there are things that I can help you take care of, then we're good, right? So that you can get your rest. See, it's about protecting each other, right? What are your thoughts on second and third chances? I think that after the first, I think after the first time that someone screws up, now here's the thing, I have nothing against giving second and third chances. That's neither here nor there, right? Sometimes it works out, sometimes it doesn't. So I can't say whether it's good or bad. But what I would say is that if you've seen them do it, if you've seen them cause the same issue more than once, more than twice, at a certain point, it's going to be your responsibility because you are still accepting this person and they've shown you more than once that they're going to screw up in the same way. So you are no longer a victim because you know what they are. So if you act shocked and they do it for the third or fourth time, at a certain point, that's on you now. So that's what I would say is second and third chances, fourth chances, remove the layer of, I didn't see this coming, right? You saw it coming. So I think the concept is you want to go with, it's more about being real with yourself at this point. If you dating hold on, whoa, gotta look at questions. If you dating someone who is still friends with their ex, is that a good sign? Here's what I would say. There are people that can make that work. There are people who have made that work, right? There are people who have made being friends with your exes work. Me personally, I cannot date someone that is friends with their ex. So there is a personal perspective, which is mine. I cannot do that. That doesn't work for me. And it's okay if it doesn't work for you. But there are people that works for. And there are people who are in relationships and they have friends that are exes. I've heard of people bringing their exes to their weddings. Not for me, but if you can do that, hey, that's on you. So I would say it's neither good or bad. It's your own personal take on it. After having 7 kids, he tells me he doesn't want me. He tells me he doesn't care about me. Ugh. I mean, what are you going to do? And here's the thing. Sometimes when these conversations happen, sometimes we have to realize that, is it in the moment? Were you guys in a heated debate, a heated argument? And it came out, were you both saying stuff like that? Or did he just come out of nowhere and say that to you? Because context does matter, you know? Sometimes when I hear people say something crazy like that, I'm like, okay, well, I'm not saying I'm giving it a pass, but what were we doing at the time? I'm still best friends with my ex-husband and his wife. We do have a daughter that is 23 years old. Well, you know, and I think that might be a little bit of a different scenario, right? If you have a child with your ex, you kind of, I don't know, I feel like there has to be a certain level of not friendship, but at least communication there because you do have a child together. And especially if they're younger, you know, you're still working on raising them. So I feel like that's a little different. I think it's more under the context of if you don't have a child together and you're still friends with your ex, you know, like how does that go? How does that work? If you have nothing tied with each other and you're still friends. Hello, Angela. Hi, y'all. He said, I feel the same. I wanted to double check that I wasn't crazy. No, you're not crazy. See, here's the thing. People will try to shame you for whatever preference or standard that you have, right? If you say, I don't want to date someone who's friends with their ex, there will be someone around that say, oh, you're just insecure, which is manipulative in itself because that does not mean that I'm insecure. It just means that I don't like that situation, right? It just doesn't work for me. So, but here's the thing. Don't worry about what people tell you. Worry about how you feel. If you know you're not insecure, then don't let external people tell you what you feel. They're not in your mind, they're not in your body, they're not in your emotions. They can't tell you what you feel. Like another thing that I think, women hear on a regular basis is if they date someone who isn't always treating them right, then they're told you don't love yourself enough. Like, see that these generalized statements to sum up what it must be is so annoying because it's like that doesn't mean she doesn't love herself. It just, I would say she probably does love herself because she's trying to change this guy, right? She's trying to make him into a better person. If she didn't love herself, she would just allow herself to be like this all the time and wouldn't try anything. Does she take care of herself? Does she still work her job? Does she still take care? Does she still hit the gym? Is she still eating right? Is she still making sure she's taking care of her life? Is she still doing her skin treatment? Like, that's what's more important. Right? Like so to say, oh, because this bad guy is in her life, she doesn't love herself, that's weird. So you're gonna assign one situation to how she feels about herself overall. Like that's one of those generalizations. A PM. Skincare for the win. See, that's what I'm saying. You know there's something wrong when she's not worried about her skincare. That's when you gotta start questioning things. But the point is that, that I don't like labeling people with this one generalized answer because they didn't do something that looks right to you. They don't have one specific behavior that doesn't mirror you or what you deem as good. You're not the sayer of all. You can say how you perceive it, but you can't say that's what they are, right? I don't even do that. As a coach, I don't even do that. I don't say like, oh, this is what it is. I'm like, well, these are the behaviors. And these behaviors to me look like this, but you will have to decide that on your own. I give you the option. That's how most people become successful with what I do. I don't just give them the answer. I let them find their way to the answer themselves. And then I'm just a helpful navigator. So, you know what I mean? It's a lot more effective that way. A guy got upset over me telling him I would like to know him a little better before meeting. Why? There's something wrong with that guy. You want to know why he got upset? Because there's something wrong with him. He's impatient. He is highly impatient. He's going to be like, he wants to meet you straight up. He doesn't want to take time to get to know you, which is crazy to me. That is not boyfriend material. That is some dude that only cares about himself. That's probably a narcissist at work. No, I'll save this. I'm going to save this for a webinar. How to find out the person is a narcissist early in the game. I can help you find that out. Please, it took years. Thank you for validating. Sure thing. There are some moms out there that advise their daughters to have one husband, 2 sex toy, 3 bank, 4 God knows what else. In America, everyone's a narcissist. America is narcissistic. That would be helpful, yes. If you want to know how to spot it, that is one of the things I'll be talking about is how to spot a narcissist early. How to smoke them out, right? Click the link in my bio, sign up for the webinar, and make sure you are there. Make sure you are there. And it's spreading like wildfire. We lived together for 23 years. run me every time we have a conversation. He will. What? I cannot understand what you just wrote here. Is this, we lived together for 23 years, run me every time we have a conversation? What does that even mean? Oh my God, I feel like I'm having a stroke. It says, he will tell to go, I everything. Man, he might have to use ChatGPT or something. I cannot put those words together. I don't know what that means. I still can't believe my husband told me he went to dating app for making our marriage better. Thank you, BJ. You got a wild name. Why is your name BJ Hooker? Thank you for the rose. For making our marriage better. Oh, he went to a dating app because he told you that would make your marriage better? Oh my God. These guys and their excuses are insane, man. That's why when I tell you, when I make these videos, I'm not kidding. Like, when I make these videos, I know that there are people that are going through this. Like, some of the most ridiculous things you think you could ever hear out of relationships and marriages, they are happening. Like, don't think whatever you can think of, somebody's probably done it. Because I worked with over 1,500 people. I thought every time I think I've heard it all, there's someone new to throw me for a loop. Like, it is some craziness going on out here. Yes, when I found out 7 years down the drain. Damn. 7 years down the drain is crazy. 7 years and he ruined it for a dating app? See, that's when I think, like, karma, please let karma be real, because that, you can't get away with that. 7 years and then you end up on a dating app and you said, I'm using it to make our marriage better. Now, here's what I want to ask. When this happened, right? When he got on a dating app or whatever, were there any signs that he was like that? Did he ever have some points that were just completely illogical? Like, is that how we ever talked throughout the relationship or through the dating situation? Or did this just come out of nowhere one day? More dating questions, ladies. We are rolling hot today. He told me earlier, now he understands women like him. What? Thank you, BJ, again for the rose. Thank you, BJ, for the bracelet. BJ is giving me all the gifts today. BJ wants all the attention, and I'm gonna give all the attention. I give attention to you gift givers. I appreciate the gifts on TikTok. I just realized that TikTok pays you. Like, for all these gifts that you get on TikTok. Like, it's like throwing money at you. I didn't know this. I got a deposit in my account the other day. I'm real about it. I was like, where's the 78 bucks coming from? Like, now I see why people like these. This is fun. So that's why they have the AI people on here. Hey, Katie, what's going on, girl? He was there fishing in that time, and dear, tell me that. My ex goes on dating sites. I will avoid them. Wow. So you avoid him because he's on there? Nah, you know what you should do? You should get on the dating site, right? I know this is petty. If you know your ex is on dating sites, get on the dating site and then start, how do I put this? Get on a dating site and then talk about how happy you are. Such a great life being single, looking for a man that can match my happiness. Haven't found it yet. That's such like an indirect roast. Like, oh no, I'm just playing. Don't do it. Don't do it. I'm not teaching y'all how to be toxic. No, I will not do it. Uh, what if he doesn't lie or cheat but is controlling out of fear? Well, that's bad. That's still bad, right? I mean, extremes are bad. What is the most successful dating site? Good question. I don't know statistically, but I would say my clients have used Hinge. My clients have used Hinge and they've seemed to have a lot of success with that. I've seen a lot of people have success with Match.com. So I would say Hinge and Match.com. And I've seen people on Bumble have a little bit of success. Not as much as Hinge, but Bumble is a good option. Sometimes we need to be a little toxic. These guys just walking. I mean, if you want to. If you want to. It all makes sense why he was frustrated, have nice shoes and clothes. Now I know why. I think you just need to be yourself, right? Because the reality is all of us have a little bit of crazy in us. Everybody, right? We are born flawed, right? We are born successfully flawed. So you don't always have to try to hide your flaws. You don't always have to try to, appear better than you actually are. I think it's actually very useful to sometimes, hey, be that person. If there's certain things about you that are not so fantastic, don't try to hide it all the time. Because then you might actually be artificial. Be yourself, right? And then that, some of that might be a little toxic, right? So just be natural. Be naturally you. But always be willing to improve, right? Improvement is never ending. How do you not go back? Left the relationship very dramatically, but every day I want to go back. You're going to need help. Sign up on my webinar, and because we're going to talk about tools to helping you understand, right? To helping you understand, why to stay out, how to stay out. We're going to support that. So go ahead and click the link in my webinar. Everybody that's on here should be clicking the link in the webinar. Never mind. I'm never dating again. Well, it could be relationships too. It's kind of universal. He'd ruin my look claiming it was affection. How did he ruin your look? What if a guy is communicating with other women, some exes, and saving pictures they send him? Well, what? I mean, is he single? Or is he in a relationship with you? Hey, Kenya. Greetings from Kenya. Good to see you. Scroll up. Oh, man, I hate doing this. Narcissist who would kiss all my makeup off before we go out. That's not the first time I heard that. You are together? Well, why are you together? Like you just said, he talks to his ex, he talks to other girls, he saves pictures. What are you gaining from this relationship? That sounds like he sounds single. See how I automatically thought he was single. I didn't even think you were together. Why was the camera zoomed in when I clocked into the live? I don't know. But you're welcome. I'm playing. You are a fine man. Thank you. Some of the comments are getting flagged by the community. I don't know why. We are both Christian. He doesn't lie or cheat, but is controlling because he's afraid, because he's fearful. Does he go to therapy? He knew it was important to me to look nice and he would totally mess up my look. Never again. Yeah, that's crazy. He tries to turn it around that I'm insecure, saying they are just friends. Well, hey, if that's how he thinks, then that's how he thinks. He doesn't believe he has a problem. Well, then if he doesn't believe it, then what are you doing there? You can't work with someone who's unwilling to see it your way. Do you think a narcissist have any unseen power that helps them to do bad things to other people? A diagnosed narcissist has an automatic trigger in their brain. Not all of them, but a lot of them have an automatic trigger in the brain that justifies their bad behavior. And it also makes them lack empathy. So yeah, it helps them do bad things to other people because they don't have the same feelings that other people do towards it. So yeah, it's not a power that's not powerful. That actually works against them because if they do it to the wrong person, they can get hurt. They can be in bad situations or they can end up losing people. My mom ran into a guy that pushed her to cut her hair short and it never grew back. Wow. These guys, man, they will ruin your life. Is it wrong for me to think that's disrespectful towards me, the relationship? No. No, it's not. No. See, you have to understand when people throw the word insecure at you, sometimes they're doing that to manipulate you. They're trying to convince you that you have this feeling to invalidate you. It's invalidation. And they do it to make you feel like you can't have a feeling. That's how you know when someone is toxic, when they don't want you to have a feeling. They're saying you're not allowed to have this feeling. You're not allowed to feel this way. You're not allowed to go this route, right? Like that's what they want. So they try to invalidate you and make you say, oh, well, if I have a natural feeling, all of a sudden I'm the bad guy. Because here's the thing. If you are insecure, what's wrong with that? Are we not human? Do we not sometimes feel insecure about certain things? Is there something dramatically wrong with that? Sometimes you're insecure. Sometimes you don't feel so confident. And sometimes that's okay. Like, when did that become an invalidation word? That's like, oh, well, I'm hungry. Well, you shouldn't be hungry. You should be full. You should tough past it. You should get past it. Like, it's natural for a human to feel hungry. Like, we have natural human emotions, natural human triggers. Sometimes it's natural to feel that way. How we respond is another thing. But how we feel, that's okay. He has told me things like that from the beginning, saying it's because I was single for so long. So he's a therapist now. You know your partner is out of bounds when they start acting like your therapist, and I know that that's gonna hit everybody, or most people, but you should not have to play therapist to your partner. All you can do is say how that makes you feel. Don't try to diagnose them. Don't try to find out about their childhood. Have compassion. But it is not your job to be someone's therapist. He says he should be a therapist. No, he'd be horrible. Because the fact that rule number one is if you're a therapist, is to not be a therapist to your partner. That's rule number one. So he's already breaking the rules. He should be a therapist. Yeah, right. He needs therapy. Anyway, why are you still with him? Are you guys married? Your mom was like that? Damn. And ladies, I'm gonna tell y'all something because some people are tagging my videos with their exes or their boyfriends. Perfectly fine. But if your boyfriend comes at me sideways, I'm gonna roast him publicly. And we don't want that. So I'm just let you know, if you tag him in my video and he starts coming at me saying that I'm stupid or I'm a simp or anything like that, man, I will fry him in front of everyone. I will have a perfectly good public shaming. Like, my comebacks are undefeated. So I'm just letting you know, if you don't want your boyfriend to be publicly humiliated, don't do it. Cause that's what they do. They do it all the time. They like they tag the boyfriend and then the boyfriend comes at me. Exposed. That's funny. That's actually a good name. You shouldn't put that in the chat so everyone can see it. Someone's gonna steal it now. Can you do a part 2 to the guy I sent you last? Oh, you want me to do that again? Let me see, because I know you sent it to me. Let me see. You want me to do another video like that? I gotta find it again. I know it's in our texts. Are all the spots gone? Not for the webinar. The webinar is still up. You can still get into the webinar. But then give me a link or a time. What's your name? What's your name? Because some people filled out the form, but they typed in their phone numbers wrong. Some people typed in their phone numbers wrong. I was like, what the heck? You couldn't find it either. You couldn't find the form? It's in the bio. It literally says Linktree on my page, right? So if you go on my page, right under my picture and stuff, it says Linktree. And that's how you know. I'll try again. Okay, perfect. What are you doing? You say you're from the South, right, Katie? You down south. No, that's funny. Why'd you write my name like that? Xavier Tainment. I'm married 39 years with a wonderful husband. I'm blessed, but I enjoy listening to you. Okay, thank you. Hey, I'm only going to help, right? I'm only going to help. So hopefully some of this information can help further the healthiness of your marriage and your relationships, right? That's what I'm here to do, is to just help it further. You give great advice. Thank you so much. Been doing this a long time, y'all. Can't wait for that webinar. I thought it was yesterday and hoped only discovers coming Sunday shoot. Did you get the text, Gina? Did you get the text? Or the email? For those of you that are here that are new, if you haven't filled out the webinar yet, go ahead and click the link in the bio to fill out for the free webinar this Sunday, where we're going to talk about taking your power back, spotting narcissists, common things to look at with spotting a narcissist early, stuff like that. We're going to talk about that this upcoming Sunday, that I won't stay on here. Thank you. Well, the webinar doesn't start until this Sunday. It wasn't last Sunday, so you didn't miss it. It's this Sunday. Coming, May 26th. I'm so glad all of y'all are here. So people are signing up. That's good news. That's good news. I'm looking forward to having y'all. Got both. Thanks. I had my dates mixed up. No problem. Well, I put the Google Calendar link inside of the text. So you can click on the Google Calendar link and it'll put it on your calendar. It'll give it to you. Yeah. I put the Google Calendar link in there. I do link invites. Just like corporate America. I send you a link invite. How often do you have webinars? Not often, to be honest. So you got to see it because I don't know when I'm going to have my next one. Depends on how it goes, right? But no, I don't have them very often because I can't give out all of that free advice. Come on now. I have this guy, he confuses me and buys me things and then says he can't give me more. What? What is it? I don't know. Like, how is he buying you things? How is he confusing you? How do you sign up for the webinar? You go to the link in my bio. Go to the link in the bio. It should say Linktree right there on TikTok. I can show y'all. He says he likes talking to me, calls. It sounds like he likes the idea of you. Sounds like a sugar daddy. Is he a sugar daddy? Sounds like a sugar daddy. But anyway, if you go to there and you click that link right there under where it says text, it says apply to text me below. Click that link and then it should show you this. See? And then you click that webinar thing. I want a full-blown relationship. He says he has big feelings, but isn't ready. He probably either he really isn't ready or he's got someone else and he wants to keep you on the side. See, some guys who have money like that will give you money just to keep you around. Like, that's actually a thing. A lot of older guys do that from what I've seen. They'll give you money and they want to keep you exclusive to them. It's like they're trying to have, he doesn't give you money, but he buys you things, right? So he gives you some kind of payment, you know? It's like he's keeping you with that because he's giving you something to keep you on the hook because otherwise you wouldn't be gaining anything. I don't accept it though. But you're still sticking around. You're still here. Haha, I want one of those guys. Hey, trust a lot of girls, I've seen girls date those guys. No shame in the game, baby. I think I signed up correctly. Well, I'll be checking after this meeting, after this live. Daughter 6 years old. I want to get married. Then you're gonna have to find a guy that wants to marry you. Find a different guy who wants to be in a relationship and get married, not one who buys you things and just leaves you alone. You're in the wrong situation. I don't know if some of us realize you can literally have the exact type of relationship that you want if you just choose the right person. If you choose a person that doesn't do what you need them to do, then they are the wrong person, right? You can choose someone else. You don't have to stay here. Daughter 6 tells ex everything we do. He got angry. We went out to dinner with mom and sister. What do you mean by everything we do? Oh, everything you do with your daughter? I give up. You say that like it's easy. There's a deep love. I wish I could not feel it. It is easy. It is easy to make a decision. Yeah, it sucks to feel, but feelings don't account for how you move. You have to separate feelings, right? You have to disregard those feelings and you have to make the right decision. Because if you continuously make bad decisions because of how you feel, then that means you're moving illogical. And sometimes our feelings are not the only decider for what we do. If we do everything just based on a feeling, that's going to be a lot of chaos. We have to have logic. We have to have principles and we have to move. Regardless of how much it hurts, you have to grow up and you have to make a solid decision. There have been times that I've had to break up with women that I did not want to break up with because I knew we weren't good for each other. It did not feel good. But you got to do what you got to do. Because if you know for a fact this is a bad route or a bad decision, but you're letting your feelings make the decision for you, then you got to take responsibility for that. Because you knew it's bad and you're still staying here and you're hoping for better. So I'm sorry. I needed to understand that it's okay to be happily single. Yes, a lot of people don't realize that, and then, like it's you can be happily single. You don't have to have someone, right? My first love of 3 years is now dating the girl he cheated with. Well, he did you a favor. He did you a favor because he left room for you for your best love. Your first love isn't going to be your best love always. So he just made room for your best love. And let him go. Let him frolic in the fields with the girl he cheated with. Let him have his life, because guess what? That means your man is still out there. There's still hope. And here's the thing. He cheated on you, which means he's got cheating in him. That's something she's going to have to work out. Because that means if he doesn't get certain things that he wants or his spirit is not calm, he's going to go out and cheat. So you lost a cheater. It's not nothing to do with you. Contentment is the biggest blessing while being single. Yeah, I agree. I agree. Thank you for that, of course. I feel like I still can't get away even after breaking up. Get away from what? I had someone ask me, what happens if I didn't get picked to get married, to be in a relationship? What did you say? I just had to divorce my husband after 28 years. I will always love him, but he became toxic. I had to go. Yep, that's fair. And that's hard. It's hard to leave those situations, but you have to. You have to look out for yourself, right? For those of you that are just popping on the live, make sure you you click the link on my bio and you sign up for the free webinar that is coming up this Sunday. This Sunday will be the free webinar. Make sure you get in on that. Make sure you are there because we're going to talk about some heavy topics and that I don't share online. Do you think someone who is a cheater can change with individual therapy over time? Yeah, I think they can. Will they? anyone, a lot of people can change, right? But their changes are going to be different from others. You know, a change for me might be a lot compared to you. They have to want to. Yeah, exactly. But anyway, I think I'm gonna jump off. I might be back on later. It's been good hanging out with y'all. All right, love y'all, appreciate y'all. Make sure you sign that link on the bio, and we will do it again later. Appreciate y'all, love y'all. I will talk to y'all later. Thank you all.